Hi, I'm Rita Strough, and I'm recording this video in my sacred space, which I call Divine Being Spiritual Fitness Center. I'm in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and I've been setting up time to come here to just meditate and connect with this part of myself that sometimes becomes really hard to hear amidst all the distractions of the world. And I don't know why, but for the last couple of months, I've felt very disconnected. It's hard to believe that I'm saying that, but I think sometimes when the summertime comes and there's so much activity and things that I want to do outside, I forget to come inside. And I'm enjoying the weather. I have my vegetable gardens and my back porch that I love. There's the beach and friends and vacations and people to see and things to do. And it's such a very busy time for a lot of people. So of course, I've been holding these meditation sessions I call evening and morning meditations every other week for a while now. And I started out as making a commitment to myself to just, bring the energy into the space, to make sure that I'm spending that time dedicating myself to my spiritual practices and inviting other people to join me in that. Because I do find that when there's other people with me, it just seems so much easier for me to connect and channel. It's strange because, again, you think of meditating as something that you do by yourself, and I do too, and I'm sure a lot of you also meditate alone. But beginning these meditation gatherings for me was really making a commitment, trying to get myself here, because I think that I struggle with feeling like I compare myself to other people, and sometimes I feel like what I bring to this world isn't what people are wanting. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I had a spiritual awakening about 15 years ago, and in that process, it was kind of just a whirlwind of doors opening. Gosh, I tell you, that when I think back of this journey that I've been on, it started with just these feelings of dissatisfaction, wondering what the hell, why am I even here? What's life all about? Why do I have a life if I'm just rushing around and doing all these crazy things? And, when does it become magical and fun? And something was happening with my belief systems. It was shifting and changing. And in those days when I first had my awakening, it just seemed like there was a constant stream of people and information and teachers and experiences that were just flooding into my experience. Picking up, a deck of angel cards, and then with my friend Anne starting that show Talking Angels, and continuing it with my friend Mike for so long, many, many years. Then opening my center in Cinnaminson, and I mean, in the process of all of that, I was getting interested in things like quantum mechanics and sacred geometry and crystals and tarot and the elements and Native American culture and Hindu mantras, Vedic mantra chanting, and body work, yoga, Tai Chi, mediumship. I was certified in Reiki and integrated energy therapy, and I just felt like I was on a journey that was being divinely guided, and I was being led from one thing to the next by some kind of an invisible force that was helping me discover all these different aspects of the spiritual life. So, of course, I had epiphanies and visions, and my own psychic abilities opened up. I mean, I was surprised, just as surprised as you would be, as if all of a sudden you're able to connect with somebody's deceased loved one. This stuff blows my friggin' mind, and it still does. But now that I'm 15 years into it, and I'm in this lull in summertime, and I'm nostalgic. I am. I'm missing the crowds of yore when I used to hold harmonic healing with the angels gatherings in another space that I was using in Mount Laurel. And I mean, there'd be 20, 22, 23 people jamming in this tiny little room. And I had my group of regulars that would come to everything. It made me feel really supported. And lately, I don't have the same kind of gatherings. And let's face it, things have changed. Many people are now in this space of offering guidance and advice and healing and counseling, and it's all wonderful. And there's so much of it now, and it's available in so many different forms on the internet, in social media, through podcasts. I mean, whew, wow, there is just a flood of information and resources available. And now with AI, you can talk to AI about anything and get a lot of answers too. So who am I and what am I doing here? This is the question that started it all. Who am I and why am I here? And I realize that everybody's on their own journeys in life. And sometimes it's time to turn your attention back to yourself to just see, what else do I need? Where am I at in my growth cycle? Is it time for me to keep moving in a direction, to change directions? Every time I sit and do a session with somebody, I'm filled with so much excitement and passion and joy. But if there's no one to read for, I get sad. And I feel like that's a sign, that's an indication. Why am I feeling like that? What's making me feel like, oh no, like, am I irrelevant? And why am I thinking that my relevance is linked to the number of people that know me or that come to see me for sessions? There's like so much there to unpack. It's a lot. And it's emotional. Yesterday I sat down and I was just doing some tarot readings for myself. And before I did that, I was talking to my guides and angels, just like I'm talking to you now. And I had like this emotional outburst that was just, the tears were flowing. I was sobbing. And it surprised me. I thought, where is this coming from? So clearly there's something emotional in me right now that is defying explanation or understanding. Maybe it's not meant to be understood, but I'm looking at what I'm experiencing and what it feels like. It feels like I'm all alone, but I know I'm not all alone. I feel like I'm lost in the crowd, but I know that I'm a unique individual. And so even if you feel lost in a crowd, whoever you are and whatever you're doing is unique to you, and it resonates at some level across the spectrum. So what am I saying? I guess I'm saying I'm working on myself. I'm trying to understand why I'm experiencing these feelings. And I've been rationalizing, saying, well, it's summertime. People are busy and doing other things. I think to myself, I'm not offering enough or what people are wanting. I go through those rounds of the old, you're not cut out for this, Rita, the inner critics and all of that. But at the end of the day, I really do know that we are all connected and that there's a divine force that's working with us, that's helping to prompt us to take action in certain areas of our lives. So I've had a lot of emotional things happen lately, and I'm feeling like I turned a corner on something extremely important to me, my relationship with my husband. This has been a point of focus for my spiritual evolution for quite some time now. And I guess maybe with that coming to a resolution, or just like feeling like it's run its course, I'm like you, I'm sitting here going, what's next? And then the state of the world and what's happening, there's massive changes taking place on so many levels within our societies. Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So Suffice it to say, I come here to my space. I come here on a regular basis to pull in and away from the outside world, from the distractions that are all around me. And I come here to remember who I am, that I am a divine being of light. I'm an eternal, limitless, perfect divine soul. And in this iteration of my soul's experience, I am Rita Strough. I'm a mom and a wife and a sister and a friend. I'm a teacher and a healer. I'm a boss. I'm a business owner. I'm a student, and I am a maker. I'm creative. I'm a creative. And I'm just a person who's seeking, always seeking, looking for what's deeper, what's inside, what's next to be uncovered. Letting go little by little of the things that have been plaguing me or interrupting my sense of peace and joy. Finding peace and joy in the mundane, normal, everyday things. And asking myself if there's more to this journey. What more am I here to do? Let's do a little reading while I'm here. I have the Angels and Ancestors deck. This is Kyle Gray. And I was just going to apologize for going too long on this video, but you know what? I'm not going to apologize. I'm not. Because I'm doing what I'm feeling prompted to do. And if you're choosing to hang in and listen to me, well, thank you for being here with me. Sometimes I feel like I need an audience. Do you, Rita? Do you need an audience? I am an audience of one right now. I'm seated here in my center, and my phone is my audience. How many of you feel like that sometimes, that you need an audience? Maybe we want to be seen, we want to be heard, but we don't know who's listening, or is anyone around? Does anybody care about me? Maybe that's why we always go to social media and post things. And we read what other people are posting, and we comment on it, and we share things that are important, that trigger us, or that make us feel like we have to share this, we have to tell somebody. You know, we're all looking for something. I think we're looking for a deeper connection to ourselves, really, and to one another. No man is an island, no woman is an island, no person is an island. We need other people. We need to be seen. We need to be heard. We need to be loved. We need to be accepted. We need to be valued. We need to be considered part of something. Look, see, I'm getting emotional again. What is it that is at the heart of all of this? What is driving us to ask to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized, to be noticed? Sometimes I think about what's happening in the world, and I think of refugees, people who have been forced from their homes due to conflict, violence, political instability, famine, disease, torture, terrorism. There's so many people right now that are ungrounded, unmoored, have no home to go home to. Everything they've known is lost. And that hurts me in my heart because I feel it. As an empath, I know, I feel it. Anyone who's empathetic can feel it on some level. We try to say, it's happening over there. And we say a prayer or send some positive vibes, but how would we feel if that was us? And it's in those moments I catch myself and I say, am I spiraling? Am I spiraling into despair? I don't want to spiral down into despair, but I want to do something. And I want to be seen, and I want to be heard, and I want to be recognized as a human being. I want to be recognized as a human being who has feelings and emotions, who's vulnerable, who experiences pain, and who also experiences great joy. I want to say that my spiritual gifts have opened a door for me, and they have. Not only into my own life, but into the lives of other people. And in connecting with other people, I realize how deep it is that each human life is so multifaceted and so layered and so complex. There's so many things that affect us. How are we supposed to navigate all of that? How are we supposed to walk in this world and be sane people? We do it. There's no doubt we do it. But how? How do we do it? What brings us back? What grounds us? What gives us a sense of being moored or being stable or being anchored? And to be honest, the only thing I can think of that can do that for us is this connection to the inner light, the divine within. Because when this life is over, when we drop the body and we don't have our homes and possessions and our families and our friends, and we disconnect from this physical 3D world, what do we have? We have our essence, our energy, our consciousness, our love, our infinite soul. It goes on and it joins with others in a new dimension of reality. It has its own set of priorities and things that it wants to accomplish, just like we do when we're in a body. Oh my goodness, it's been an emotional week for me. I'm just talking and it's all making me want to cry. What's going on? What's going on in our world? What's going on with the energies right now? I have so many really gifted, talented spiritual teachers that I follow, and astrologists, and others, healers, wise ones. Every spiritual teacher is helping us find something to hold on to that grounds us and that keeps us feeling secure and safe and loved. And I think that just knowing that we have angels around us, that each one of us is surrounded with a team of guides and advisors, that means a lot. But as a human being, we don't remember, and we can't hear them sometimes. We don't know how to talk to them. We don't know how to hear their messages. We don't know how to believe that it's real. Even if we've had demonstrations and validations and signs. I realize I'm all running the gamut here, but this is me free thinking and talking and maybe some channeling. But there's something going on and it's affecting me on an emotional level in a major way. And I think there's a reason that I'm feeling this disconnection. It's because we're all sort of finding our way at this moment. And my connection point to myself and to you and to everyone is within. It's coming within. It's recognizing that beyond nationalities and borders and gender and age and everything that defines a human being, that we're spirit, we're energy, we're light, we're love, we're consciousness. And I can say this because I've connected with people's energies where they show me past lives, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, like there's the validations that come through, just even connecting to people who've passed away. When that happens, I recognize that, you know, death isn't the end. It's just a transition into another state of being. And that while I might say, for instance, remember my mother as my mother and connect with her energy in spirit since she's passed, I know that some point will come when her energy will want to revisit life in a new form. So I will still always be able to connect with the version of her that I've known, and yet her spirit will evolve into another form in some other place and time, in another dimension. We're all like that. That's why we're called multi-dimensional beings. Because the memory of her, the essence of her as my mom continues and will always be connected to this version of myself. But there will be other dimensional realities for our souls. And they cross and they move and they interact in different ways. So there is a continuum of life that flows through each one of us, and it continues to move us from experience to experience, from life to life, from dimension to dimension. And our focal point right now is where we are here today in the present moment. Present moment awareness, where we are in the now, with what we're feeling, with what's driving us, with what's motivating us, with what's on our minds in this moment, what's in our hearts. And we're changing all the time, just like the weather and the seasons. We're changing. Just like any other living thing. We're growing, we're maturing, we're changing. The body changes, the mind changes, our beliefs change, our dreams and desires change. The things that we've wanted 10, 15, 20 years ago are not the same things we want now. And we have to be willing to let go of those old things that don't fit anymore, that don't work anymore, or that just aren't relevant anymore, that don't feel the same way they used to. That's why in the beginning when I said I was feeling nostalgic, I think that's part of this learning process I'm in right now. The emotional shift that I'm experiencing is looking back and going, gee, it was so much fun back then. And wow, it was so exciting back then. And wow, there were so many more people involved in this spiritual work of mine back then. And now there's less people. There's still people, but there's less. And maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. And individuals find each other when we need to. So it's not about a quota or a number of followers or how many videos you put out or how regular and dependable your updates are or your freebies or whatever you're getting out, your advice, sharing your gifts. It's just flowing with what wants to be in the moment. So in this moment, I came here today to settle into my space, to open the door to anyone who wanted to come in. And it was me, just me today, with my guides and angels in this beautiful space. And I pulled a couple of cards while I was shuffling. So the Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action, came up. And the Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. Okay, so I think I want to pull, one more card. Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. Okay, so as I intuitively look at these cards, the Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. I believe that this card, it has a reflection in the background of a dragon, and he's got a praying mantis, like perched on his fist. I know that as we learn to master our own abilities, that we become somewhat attuned to a force within us that no longer requires almost like an active thinking about what we're doing. Like, be graceful in movement and action. I remember a long time ago when I took martial arts, when I did karate training, that the training was not only for me to learn these moves and forms, but to train my body to respond and react. And so when you do forms in karate, when you're doing your movements and there's a focus on the smoothness of it, the form of it. You see this in yoga too, and other kinds of work that you do with your body, where the form, the small modifications, the little adjustments that we make along the way help to perfect the grace of our movements. It requires a lot of focus between the mind and the body, and in that focus we learn to listen to the body. We learn to become attuned to what we're experiencing in the body, and also the body's learning to react from what we're thinking. So if in karate training, I was learning how to respond to, for instance, someone attacking me from behind, and just instantly my body would do the moves because I practiced it so many times. The same thing can happen if we're experiencing thoughts that come in that trigger something. Our body will respond as it's always responded. So perhaps this is a call to, when they say be graceful in movement and action, this is a card about integrating the thinking mind and the body to, when it says graceful, that means not only graceful like a dancer or someone who's focused on doing everything to a perfection or a state of ease and grace, but to be consciously aware that our bodies can react to our thoughts and our thoughts to our bodies, and that there is a way to balance and harmonize these things together. When we take action, it comes from a place of being in our bodies, in our minds, And if inaction is the problem, then go back into the body, go back into the mind, and see what's interrupting that action. This one, the Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. She looks like she's ready to go into battle, right? She's got her battle paint on. She's got her shield and her sword. Make plans. It's talking about making plans to grow. Growth is a difficult thing to do. It's easy to stay stagnant. It's easy to remain the same. It's easy to stay in the current state of affairs. It's easier to remain unmoved or immobile than it is to forge forward into a new path. So when it says make plans and focus, and she's there looking like a warrior, it's about planning your future, planning how am I going to adjust to these changes? What is the most scary thing that I'm facing if I decide to change and move forward? Can I think about that in a new way? Can I integrate my body and my mind around those fears? See how I'm reacting to it, and then focus. Listen to my body, listen to the thoughts that are coming through, and understand it so that I can move it into an action. You see, this one talks about action, movement and action. This one is about plans and focus. It's about moving forward from a place of feeling stuck or stagnant and moving forward. And then finally, the Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. She's saying that the Medicine Mother is one who administers, nurtures, takes care of, wants to heal, is one who is intently focused on finding what it is that can help soothe and ease symptoms, feelings of sickness, sadness, depression, anxiety, physical ailments. Medicine Mother comes and says, honor your inner knowing. What do you know about this situation? What have you already learned? If you already know yourself well enough to make a move and take an action that feels right for you, then do it. Honor your inner knowing and know that Medicine Mother is there to help soothe, ease, calm, and aid in the transition in a much more holistic way. This is not taking your health and well-being for granted, but celebrating it and using it as a catalyst forward. Medicine Mother, always wanting us to feel as though we have someone we can rely on, turn to, for the healing that's important to us in our lives. This is what I'm seeing. So this is a feeling for me of moving forward, of coming into focus with my mind and body, making sure I'm taking the time to understand what it is that I'm feeling and preparing to take action from a place of confidence in my own inner knowing. I want to thank you for being with me today. And I want to say thank you for listening. I see you. I hear you. I accept you as you are, and I love you. And I want you to know that you're doing a great job. Even if you feel like you're struggling, just getting up every morning is an accomplishment. And finding your way through this crazy time right now, that takes a lot. So remember, turn inside, take a moment to just breathe, turn off all the distractions, come into yourself, and reconnect with the part that is eternal, where you can feel grounded, whole, well, safe, loved, and supported. I'm Rita Strough, and I love you. Bye-bye.